Our next speaker needs little introduction. Amelia Bonow is the force behind a national movement called Shout Your Abortion. Her work has brought tens of thousands of women to the forefront to share their stories without shame. She is a dear, dear friend and a firecracker and just a fantastic human being. So please welcome to the stage, Amelia Bonow.
Hi, guys. Wow, this feels really good. I've been on the road for a couple weeks, and it feels really good to be back in Seattle. So you already know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. On September 19th, I told Facebook that I'd had a positive experience with abortion at Planned Parenthood on Madison Avenue. Lindy West tweeted a screenshot of my post, adding the hashtag #ShoutYourAbortion and shouting her own. And then instantly, everything was out of our control in the best possible way. 4 months ago today, Shout Your Abortion went viral. Hashtag activism is often criticized as a superficial, non-committal way for society to pay lip service to a complex issue. But Shout Your Abortion exploded because it became a conduit that allowed people to address a distinct cultural need in a very simple way. People were ready to use their voices, and Shout Your Abortion instantly created a digital community and a support system that made speaking safer. And there was nothing non-committal about the way that people used this hashtag. Those who chose to shout did so while accepting some level of risk, and our opposition has always made sure that women who use their full range of agency in talking about their own experiences are faced with some level of risk. And you know what? 4 months later, I can say with certainty that because of every woman who takes the stage tonight, and because of everyone here in the audience, because Seattle, Washington decided to throw every DIY resource it had behind the idea that nobody owns our stories except for us, and nobody owns our bodies except for us, those who speak out in the future will be faced with less risk than we were. I actually wasn't done yet with that page, because I have to say this part, which is that I think I'm going to be the last person ever to break the internet with their abortion disclosure. And that's because so many of you have shouted to at this point that we've become just a deafening roar, and we are shattering the expectation of silence. And as you know, my abortion really wasn't that big of a deal, which was kind of why it became a really big deal. But in the last 4 months, I've literally heard thousands of stories. In the very beginning, a woman emailed Lindy West, I don't know if you guys know, who I am lucky enough to call my hero and one of my best friends. And she told Lindy, "I am holding my 6-month-old grandson for the first time today without feeling guilty for the abortion that I had decades ago, which I know was the right choice. Thank you." About a month ago, I received an email from an Afro-Latina woman in Texas, a state where we now know that at least 100,000 women have attempted to induce their own abortions in the last year because of the HB2 laws making abortion services completely inaccessible. And she said, "Dear Amelia, I've recently made the decision to have an abortion. I never thought that I would be in a situation like the one that I'm in now, but after being lied to and duped by a married man, I have found myself pregnant. I've recently made the decision to have an abortion, and I know that it's the best option. I always thought I was pro-life before this, and now I realize that I'm actually taking control of my own life by getting an abortion. Thank you for being brave enough to start this positive conversation. We have been needing it for so long, and it has made me see my options differently." She and I have exchanged multiple messages since then, and I promised to send her a link to the video of this entire event as soon as possible. And so I would like to say this to her. You have kept me going even when it is so hard. Everything here tonight is for you, and it's for all of Texas. We will not ever stop doing what we're doing here until your world changes the way that ours has. And then I heard from a 17-year-old named Asia. Dear Amelia, I'm a senior in high school here in Seattle, and I've been following Shout Your Abortion. I'm having an abortion next week. I told 2 people, my mom and my boyfriend, and they both supported me unconditionally. I've been thinking a lot about women who face the opposite reaction and how destructive that would be. I want to be a part of changing that. I feel ready for my abortion because of the support around me, and Shout Your Abortion is a part of that. Asia asked me to be her mentor on her senior project, which is focusing on the degree to which shame and stigma inform a person's experience with abortion. And then Asia went into her high school and announced the topic of her study to her humanities class, and she did not just do that, but she shouted her own abortion, which she had had less than a week before that. And she announced that she felt no shame. And guess what? Asia is here tonight, and she told me that not only could I use her first name, but she would be honored if I pointed her out. So where you at, girl? Asia? There. Asia, you are the future. I am not qualified to be your mentor, but I'm going to try really hard. As we all know, we are in the midst of a moment of unprecedented volatility in the fight for abortion rights. And as we kick off an election year, as we move closer to this monumental decision in Texas, the pro-choice movement is taking a turn that is undeniable. We are ready to stand up. Do I stand with Planned Parenthood? Of course I do. I've stood with Planned Parenthood since before I had sex, because that was the first place that I ever went where I felt in control of my body and my sexual choices. But I do not just stand with Planned Parenthood because they walked me through birth control options, screened me for cancer and STIs, and have really helped me out in the insanity of the last 4 months of my life. But I stand with Planned Parenthood because they provided me with excellent, compassionate abortion care, and my abortion was the best decision I've ever made. Am I pro-choice? Of course I am. Those who oppose abortion rights have blood on their hands, and they want women, and pretty much anyone who's not a straight old white dude, to fail. But I am not just pro-choice. I am a pro-choice woman who identifies my own abortion experience as the most unassailable component of my pro-choice identity. And this room, everyone here, all of these speakers are helping to build a future where people who choose to speak this way will not be called fearless. And today, on the 43rd anniversary of Roe, it is devastatingly clear that legality is not enough. Legality is not enough in Texas, and legality is not enough for women who have had access to abortion, but whose lives have been totally derailed by the false burden of shame. Shame is a tool. And in a country where the majority is soundly in favor of abortion rights, where 1 in 3 women chooses abortion, ensuring that shame remains a cultural institution is the only way that our opposition can get away with legislating this issue in a way that is so profoundly out of touch with mainstream opinion and experiences of women everywhere. Abortion is normal. Our experiences are ours to tell. This is not a debate. Today, Shout Your Abortion undertook our first nationwide action. And today, almost 150 groups in all 50 states, including ours here, are together for abortion. There are salon-style conversations being hosted in living rooms, public abortion speakouts being hosted in conjunction with Planned Parenthood and NARAL affiliates, crafting parties, rock and roll shows, kids making zines. By using the Together for Abortion hashtag as a unifier today, we are highlighting the range of voices in this movement, the broader impacts of this kind of collective action, and the shift within this movement that we are helping to create. I know that I've gone over my time, and I'm sorry. And I want to thank Planned Parenthood. Thank you for supporting the work that Shout Your Abortion is doing for the last 4 months. I've realized that the best way that I can support you is to shout about my gratitude for everything that you do, including abortion. And to any abortion care providers in the audience, I want to tell you that I look forward to the day when your profession is respected in the way that other helping professions are, and I will never stop loudly thanking you until I see that day. And just one last thing. Shout Your Abortion is in the process of securing a $250,000 grant. Like, we're gonna get it. So we're going nationwide in 2016, and we will never be stopped. That's that.